All right. Welcome back to Bring the Juice. I have the Bray brothers on today. Tyler and Austin. Appreciate you guys. Tyler, good to see you again, man. It's been a long time. You've grown a lot since I saw you. I feel shorter around you. I feel fucking short as hell.
I've grown out, not taller.
Okay. What's your body fat percentage right now?
I don't know.
Austin, what's yours?
Don't ask me.
Okay, good.
It's more than his, for sure.
Well, these red wave light loggers are definitely not hurting the cause. So let's just dive right into it. Tyler, I want to start with you. Tennessee, a lot of shit's happened lately. You're a quarterback who played at Tennessee. You're a Tennessee football alum, specifically in that position. It's no secret that shit hit the fan with Nico. Mm-hmm. What's your take as a former guy who quarterbacked at that school when NIL's doing what it's doing? It's the Wild West. We could get into that a little bit later, but what's the taste in your mouth right now? Are we moving forward? Are you saying adios or what?
Yeah, you kind of got to move forward. So he kind of put Tennessee in a bad situation when it came to asking for more money. Mm-hmm. And I get it. The market, everything for QBs right now is off the charts. Like we were talking before about the guy from Tulane, Mensa, that transferred to Duke, $8 million quarterback.
Good for him.
Yeah, oh, great. But that's what the going rate for QBs is these days in college. And so he wanted more money, but the numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
So when you're
can't cheat the stat line.
You're not even in the top 50 for passing yards, rushing yards, none of that, but your running back is a top 10 guy. Your defense, top 10 defense.
Right.
Like that's why you're winning games, and then you want to go out and kind of stronghold Tennessee and be like, I want more money or I'm leaving. Like they give in to him, they got to give in to everybody else.
Did it feel like too, and also you could chime in on your like POV of this, did it not feel like that it wasn't an inside conversation? Did it not feel like it was more like Twitter beef between the football program and Nico's party rather than being like going up to the coach's office and saying like, hey, listen, this is what I'm probably worth right here. Like, I feel like it got out of the lines pretty quickly.
Yeah, and that's one thing where, his dad, I mean, we don't know the full picture either. His dad could have been trying to make moves behind the scenes. Like Dan Lanning's sitting there and calling the coach and like, hey, your QB's dad's like reaching out to us talking about transferring. Like, who knows what's really going on behind closed doors, but if they give in to him right there and we're like, oh yeah, we'll pay you a bunch of money. Yeah. Then you have your DN coming up to you next. I want more money. Then this guy wants more money.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is to keep the parents separate.
Oh, they gotta
stay out of it. They're too emotionally invested.
Yeah.
That's where it's gotta change, and hopefully, a lot of these agents and things get involved with these players and do that. Keep the parents out of it and, make it a business. And I think it was all communication issue with it, and they wanted to make it a show.
Right.
And I think that's where hopefully there's more changes and more restrictions on things moving forward with college.
What do you think the market is? Like, and I think it's interesting. Mikey Keene's a good buddy of mine. He just left Fresno State after coming from UCF, and he joined Michigan. And I think a lot of people were like, yo, that's an interesting move there. Mm-hmm. Now, I know Mikey Keene from a guy who threw my brother the ball perspective, and I know Mikey Keene from a come over for dinner, like, Mikey, you're a cool dude perspective.
Right.
Great dude. I will always have Mikey Keene's back. And I do believe in the right offense, he could thrive and succeed with an O-line and, a couple weapons. But he could get it there when healthy. I think he was beat up a lot of his career too here. Not pointing fingers at anybody, but long story short, he goes to Michigan in a situation where they have obvious guys that they're paying a shitload of money to right. be quarterback.
The number one guy in the country?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So at a place like Tennessee, because I consider them a blue blood, what do you think the market is right now for a QB1 paycheck, QB2 paycheck, and QB3 paycheck? Like, how should that be staggered? What do you think the market is right now?
Starting QB, I guess, is $8 million.
It is $8 million.
Yeah, that's the going rate right now. 8 to 10.
It's the going rate right now.
I guess you're Power 5.
SEC.
Right,
SEC. Call it SEC.
Top, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's got to be, right? There's so much money involved in college football.
So does QB2 get $4 million, or do they get another $8 million because they're going in behind it? Like, no. That's where you think, like, okay, let's say we have a senior who's getting paid $8 million. He's the now. We have a really good sophomore who's a psycho athlete.
I know.
And once that guy leaves, and then we just recruited this 5-star. Like, are you spending $24 million or $20 million on quarterbacks at this point?
No, I think what's going on is so the recruit, if you're getting recruited to school and you're like what is it, Bryce Underwood,
Yeah.
the kid from Michigan, like you're getting the most money. Like you're going to come in being the highest paid QB probably in the room, unless you're coming into a guy that's, an Archie Manning.
Right.
Like in that scenario, like you're not coming in and being the highest guy paid. Like they're going to pay him.
Right.
So it's kind of depends on different schools and situations, but QBs, I mean, they're just hired mercenaries at this point.
Yeah.
It's an investment, right? Like I feel like it's potential too. Like if you have because I've been a part of college programs where the backup was the backup now, but the next year he's probably not going to be the starter, right? They're grooming up like the third string. He's just young.
Right.
These are on the offense. If the first string got hurt now, the second string's going to go in, but the third string guy's going to beat him out. He's just young right now.
Right.
So that's where I guess after the first string quarterback, it kind of becomes, okay, what's the potential, right? What's going to be the return on the investment, right? It's almost turned into like kind of the stock market, in my opinion, a
Right.
little bit of like, okay, well, we're going to pay this guy. He may not start now, but in a year, he's going to be that guy. So you pay him more, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's some Moneyball shit.
Right.
It's some Moneyball shit. It's some Billy Bean Moneyball shit. Right? Billy, we really like this guy. He plays single A in Cincinnati right now. Like, he's 47 years old. He has one leg. Like, we should sign this motherfucker. He gets on base a lot. You guys have the Bray Quarterback Institute, okay? And I think this is a good segue to be like, okay, before we get into like what the vision is, you guys have guys that are getting offers, right? I see it on your socials. Clearly, the secret sauce is working. How is from kind of being in a mentorship role for these young athletes that are now going into college? Are you seeing any of the business side where I know you have a guy who just mentioned he has a couple offers all over the place? Like, are they communicating with you like, hey, Miami offered a Scully and $500,000 signing bonus? Like, what's going on from the high school to college bridge right now?
I haven't heard anything. J.J. Howard, Clovis West.
Sure.
Shout out. But I haven't heard any NIL type deals when it comes to this. He's still young. I mean, he just turned 15. He's going to be a sophomore next year.
Motherfucker's riding his bike.
Yeah, exactly. And so I don't think right now they're talking numbers. I think it's like we want to come out because all these guys, like when you're in the Valley, you're not getting all the, notoriety across the nation. Like you got to travel to camps and do the camp circuit. So that's what he's doing right now. He's going to all these schools because as a young guy, they want to see you throw live.
Sure.
There's ways to pimp out on a camera, like, oh, this guy has a rocket arm. And then you watch him live, and it's like he has a noodle. There's ways to, camera angles. So they want to see the guy live.
Deception.
Yeah, there is. And so they want to see these guys throw live, and for him, it's been great. I mean, he's going to all these camps, and it's like, oh, you're going to camp today? It's probably another offer.
Yeah.
And it has been so far. So it's. I haven't heard any of the NIL stuff yet. He just wants to focus on football, so he's not really worried about that.
Yeah.
I think after this season that the NIL talk will start to ramp up.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where, like, colleges, I mean, there's rumors, right, out there about Kirby Smart paying kids $20,000, $10,000 a month
To stay committed.
And then if they don't sign, they pay all that money back. Right? So it's theoretically like a loan, right, of like, this is how these colleges are keeping commits, right? It's a business. It is what it is now. When we played, we wish it. I wish it. It was like this because they make millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And you don't see anything of it. I remember when he was at Tennessee, we'd go to a game, and there'd be 60, 70,000 people with the number 8 jersey on it, no name on the back. Everybody knows who number 8 is. You're not seeing $1 out of that. It's crazy, right? So that's where it's, to me, I think we're going to start to see more of that, especially with JJ. Okay. If you want to keep him committed, if this is his dream school, well, how do you keep other schools from outbidding you, right? Because that's what it is. And so
that's crazy. So guys are keeping players that are committed almost on retainer at this point.
And that's rumors, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
Those are Kiffin rumors.
Yeah, we don't know. We saw it on Reddit. We saw it on Reddit.
Those are Lane Kiffin rumors.
We saw it on Twitter.
Lane Kiffin is a lot of things, but I don't think he's a liar.
Right.
I think he speaks his truth too much. And so I think him saying those things, you're like, okay, well, you got to take some sort of credit out of that.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt that they're paying guys.
Oh my God! I mean, think of all the shady shit that happened at one point. Like there's a lot of brown paper bags that have been exchanged over the years, and
I got busted for it. I mean, we've talked about it on the podcast before.
I mean, I Do you think it's like it's so hard because it's such a gray area?
Right. It's the Wild Wild West.
Like, okay, why can't you pay the guy now, even though you're going to start paying him in a month? Versus it used to be like you just can't pay him at all, right?
Right.
What do you think? I mean, you're like I said, you've been in a situation.
They've always paid players, so let's get that out there. I mean, it's
Okay.
it's been happening for years. I mean, Ole Miss was a big one, Alabama was a huge one, so they've always been paying players. They just did it in secret. They had a couple guys removed from the program that were handling everything.
Wow.
To where now it's just like, how much do you want? Like, how much do we need to pay you to?
Blank check.
Yeah, type of deal.
Yeah.
And they get, they're getting car deals. I mean, look at Carson Beck. He's driving a Lamborghini Urus.
They have fucking jet deals.
Every QB now has a jet deal. It's like, if we got a free cheeseburger in college,
Dude,
they were like,
give me
your
some
whole
Chick-fil-A.
career is ruined.
Well, I remember we were at Buffalo Wild Wings, and the owner sat down a stack of like free 6 wings,
Yeah.
like coupons,
Yeah.
a stack of them. And my dad just reached over, give me those.
Yeah.
Because nobody can see that, right? If they didn't see that, like you're in trouble,
Right.
right? To where it's like, we're taking those, we can't have those, right? Like, and that's one of those things where it's so different now than just 6 free wings, right? From
Yeah.
U-Dubs.
Tyler, you were kind of in that prime SEC degenerate period of football, like college Saturdays. What's the craziest, without name dropping, financial exchange rumor you've heard pre-approval?
I know guys were getting offered anywhere from 50 to 150 just to sign
Yeah.
at schools.
Cash under the table, like
Cash under the
We'll give your
table.
mom an apartment, the whole
Yeah.
shit.
There was guys who parents were getting job offers.
Yeah.
I mean, at one point we were, because Malibu Boat Company was out of Tennessee, and they were like, "Oh, let's get you a boat." Like, and we're like, "Yeah, we can't do any of that. Like,
Yeah.
it's illegal.
Yeah.
Like, I won't be able to play football anymore." And so there was a bunch of that, and so you're getting like a signing bonus, and then it's like, we're gonna pay you another $2 to $4K a month on top of your scholarship check you get, and guys were going for it. And now that's like your third, fourth string like punters are making that much now.
Right.
And that was like your top tier guys at the time. So, I mean, it's insane. I would add a lake house boat, everything if NIL was.
What do you think your NIL valuation would have been?
Starting quarterback at Nico
Tennessee.
got $8 million, so times, 4. Cut it in half just because of the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. You didn't get close to that one.
No, I got maybe a couple grand a month. And that wasn't a
Couple cheeseburgers.
And that wasn't even a person that was a part of the program. Yeah.
I love that. Let's go back to the Bray Quarterback Institute real quick. What was the vision, and what made you guys say, all right, we're turning the Jets on, and let's go, and then talk to me about the camp.
Yeah, so with Bray Quarterback Institute, I've coached, 4 years at the high school level at our alma mater, Kingsburg. I coached at Reedley for 3 years at Reedley College. I played there the year after Josh Allen, and so I love the head coach over there, Coach Hart. He's a great guy, and spent a lot of time there. JUCO world, it's a lot of work, right? You're recruiting guys in, you're recruiting guys out. I have a 2-year-old now, and so to me, my goal was always to coach D1, and then now that I have my son, it was like, okay, if I coach D1, I'm not going to have the time for him or my wife, and so changed my thinking on things, and I stepped away from Reedley and was like, okay, well, I was out of coaching for like a month and was like, I can't do this. So I'm going to start the QB training stuff, started Bray Quarterback Institute July. Blew up faster than I thought it was going to. I had a lot of guys obviously help me out, get my name out there, and then I was training so many guys, didn't have the time. So then I brought on Tyler, and we've expanded now. So we're coming up on a year of training QBs, and I think we're doing things the right way. Everything we're teaching guys is what they're going to be taught at the pro level. When you're playing in college, they you're going to have certain coaches that are going to teach you high school stuff and different things like that, the love it, but everything we're going to teach you is from the pros because we've done it. Right. And so the Bray Quarterback Institute is, we're growing fast, and, all of our sessions, my sessions are based out of Kingsburg. So I'm able to tailor to the Visalia group, Tulare group, as well as Fresno. And then he trains out of Clovis West right now. So he's kind of handling all the Fresno guys. So it's been good. I mean, we're just kind of waiting to see how this is going to keep growing.
Yeah. And then you said, hey, we're going to do the camp.
Yeah, so with the camp, when I first started this, I told my wife, hey, I wanted to do a free football camp here in the next 3 to 5 years. Kind of told me I was crazy. You know, it is what it is.
My mom thinks I'm fucking psycho. So don't worry.
Right, so
They all do.
I think everyone thinks
Comes
I'm
with a
psycho.
territory.
I have a lot of ambition in certain things, and I kind of will drive myself to do a lot of things, even though I may be a bit on the amount of time I have. But with that, I mean, it's been crazy. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
I threw a zen in. You were like, give me some nicotine.
Right.
I love that. And you know what? I got to say, so it is, and honestly, I admire anybody who ever makes that jump, because everyone thinks you're a dumbass when you start something new. That's something I've learned is, you know, I have no family or history or friends who are social media guys by any means, right? I was an ag business major at Fresno State. I was the type of guy when I was in like a low point in my career, like I didn't want to post on social media. I didn't want people to think that I was distracted, you know. But you have a good game, or you make you get an award, you make a promotion. It's like, hey, I worked my ass off to do this. I'm gonna post I would post 3 times a year maybe, man. And you know, when I decided I wanted to start a pod, I was kind of coming out of my shell on like a social media side of things, and it's like everyone's like, oh fuck, you're gonna be maybe one of these guys, right? And I'm just like, how can I make it not, I'm trying to be politically correct here, like, how can I make it not like, you're that guy? You're the annoying social media guy, right? And like, and I was at a point where when you're done playing ball, it's very hard to adjust to normal life. You're used to a schedule, you're used to a high standard of operating around the people you're around, which in football, your coaches. Right. And now it's like, you don't have to keep your body physically at the top peak performance necessarily. Like you'd like to, but you don't have to, right? I don't have to watch what I eat for breakfast diligently so that I don't puke at practice. And then I don't need to force myself to chug power shakes so that I make my, 167 pound weight target. Right. All that shit's out the window. So now you can sleep in whatever you want. You could get up and do whatever the fuck you want. And I'm sure you guys deal with this where half the guys don't have to do that shit anymore, and they become pieces of shit. They're playing video games on their girlfriend's couch. They're not working. They're making excuses. Maybe they're still trying to go to the league half-assed by going to the park and doing a couple ladder drills 3 times a week. Like, you guys know who the fuck I'm talking about. Yep. And then there's also the other guys who take the foundation it takes to, like, be successful in a elite football program, which means showing up on time, having a notebook open and keep notes on, even though you know exactly what the fuck you got to do. Mm-hmm. Yep. Maybe your body's good right now, but you're getting ice tub because you know you should. Like, being a pro, right? If you could take those tools and apply them to starting a business, being a father, doing whatever the fuck it might be, working for someone else, being a restaurant, concierge or some bullshit. Like, you could kick a lot of ass in the sport because there's a lot of people that didn't go through that foundation and learn those things and put those tools in those toolbox. So it's like, however you utilize it. So, I was just at that point where I was like, how can I take all this shit that I was so try hard and was so important to me at that time in my life? Like, am I just going to throw it away and become like a 9-to-5 guy? And I was just like, there's got to be more to it. And going through that stage, I went on a few pods and kind of told my 2 cents of how I'm not a physical specimen, but you can go further than you think if you mentally try to get a competitive edge on things. That's just the reality of things. And I mean, I tell my brother right now, like, your playbook, another dude doesn't know his playbook, and there's 15 guys. You're on the top half of that 15, yep, close to it, just because especially in high school. I'm talking NFL right now, but in high school, there's 20 receivers in a high school receiver room at Clovis West, right? 10 of those guys are dumbasses that don't know their plays. Mm-hmm. The coach is never going to play them. No,
they're just on the team.
They're just on the team.
Hang out with their
the other 10 guys, maybe there's one stud, and there's a bunch of so-so kind of fast guys. You know your plays, and you're in the top 10. Even if you don't catch a ball and you're not that fast, like, they're going to be like, I trust this guy. He's going to block. He's got to take the safety deep or some shit. Like,
right.
It's all about trying to piece all this shit together, but all that to be said, it takes it takes balls to take that leap and being like you said, like you're talking to, you know, I'm always talking to my mom, talking to my wife, being like, I really think I should do this, man. I really think I know I can do it. But no one else has done it yet. Or maybe someone has done it, but I'm like, I like what they did, and I like what that guy did, but this is how I would do it.
Mm-hmm.
It takes some balls to do it. So I commend you guys for taking that step and shooting your shot. And, you know, like I said, you talked to your wife about, I want to have a camp in 3 to 5 years, and you're fucking doing it, man. So
Well, yeah,
you'll learn from it, and the next one will be better.
Yeah, and you know, with my wife, she's like, well, why, you know, and like other people too, like, why are you putting on a free camp? You could charge people.
Mm-hmm.
And me working at the school I do, you know, I work in the core school district and everything, like, a lot of kids don't have access to the camps and things that maybe we had access to. So what the free part of it, you know, I was to my wife, no, it's going to be free no matter what. Like, I'm not going to charge people for this camp. It's going to be all positions. And it's going to be free, so that way everybody can be involved.
Yeah.
You know, and I wanted to do it at Clovis West because then it's not, I think, too far of a drive for every, you know, it's
Pretty central.
Yeah.
I used to train there in high
Everybody
school
to
with
get there, right?
everybody, yeah.
Everybody knows where it's at.
Sure.
Right. So for me, the free part is to give back. You know, there's, you know, like I said, teaching in this industry and with the kids I deal with, they don't have the things that we had, and so, you know, kind of navigating that, and, you know, shout out to a bunch of sponsors. You know, thank you, Bring the Juice. You know, being a sponsor. You know, Central Valley Sports, Stitch and Ink. For the merch, you know, you know, the Ted Fellner Memorial Scholarship Foundation, you know, there's a lot of, and even Scrub Can. I don't know if you ever heard of Scrub Can.
Fuck yeah, I know Scrub Can.
You know, they donated as well. You know, he played at Fresno State. It's one of those things where I wanted to make this a community event.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a camp, right? You're going to get coaching from pros, from college players, from Kenny Wiggins, from, you know, all these guys, and it's going to be
Cans on the wall.
Oh,
yeah, right there. To where it's going to be a big event to where you're going to get the coaching that you would normally have to pay for.
Right.
Right, and you're not going to have to pay for it. And that was one of those things where our goal is to hold this free camp every single year. And so that way everybody can go. You know,
Yeah.
I think all the kids in the Central Valley are entitled to good coaching. I don't necessarily think that they always get that, but, you know, guys try their hardest. But, you know, I think it's important that to get coaching from guys that have been there and done that. You know,
I'm
against the
an
Nick
advocate on
Sabans
that
of the
too.
world and all that, but
Yeah.
I think it's important when you've played at that level and you kind of know what to expect. We can kind of help you with like the mental part you were talking about.
Yeah.
Right, like knowing your plays, right? How to study film, doing the different things, right? Like I've talked about this before, like the 80-20 rule, right? 20% is skill, 80% is mental.
Yeah.
Like when you get to the pro or college and pro level, like I don't care how good you are, if you don't know the plays,
Right.
especially when stuff gets real wordy and
Yeah.
the plays are crazy,
Fast.
you're not gonna get on the field. I don't care, right? And so the 80%, like, yeah, we're gonna help you with all the mechanics and all the throwing and all that stuff. That's gonna be pro level. But also the pro level stuff is going to be the film study, which I think is lacking here in the Valley. You know, I've got a bunch of recruits out of the Valley that have been to other quarterback coaches. When I was coaching at Reedley, we sit in the room, and I'm like, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
Like, I can't play you.
Yeah.
Like, you're a stud. I can't play. You're 6'2", 210 pounds. You're a D1 guy, and I can't play you because you don't know the difference between 2 and 4.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Right? And so that's where it's like, okay, well, now it's start over, and now it's building up everything to even get you on the field for you to make the right decision. Because you could throw a perfect spiral, right?
Sorry.
So you could throw so you could throw a perfect spiral all day, right? But if you're throwing it to the other team, because you don't know how to read defense, does it really matter?
No.
Right? It doesn't. And so that's kind of why I started Bray Quarterback Institute. Was I'm at Reedley College and I'm like, man, there's such a lack in the film study and the knowledge of the game that we need to change that.
The physical part for a QB is kind of the easy part. Like if you're getting recruited for a quarterback, you can throw the damn ball.
Yeah, sling it.
Yeah, but what's between your ears? Because you can have an arm like a Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes.
Sure.
But if you can't dissect a defense and get your guys lined up where they need to be and do all the mental stuff that goes just breaking the huddle pre-snap, it doesn't matter if you throw it 100 yards. Right. Like look at Jamarcus Russell.
There's a lot of guys.
That dude had one of the strongest arms ever in the NFL. Lasted what?
2 weeks.
Yeah, if that. And like they were giving him. No QB coaches were in that room or that were in that room, and they would give him empty CD cases to watch film with $100 or $20 bills in it, and be like, "Oh, what'd you think of the film last night?" "Oh, it was great," and they're like, "You didn't watch it." Or they would give him a blank CD and be like, "Oh, what'd you think of the film we gave you?" "Oh, it was great." "No, you didn't watch it." Like, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you can't get your guys, if you can't break a huddle, get your guys lined up, dissect what coverage you're going against pre and post snap, like, you're not going to play at a high level.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get fooled, right? Like, no matter how your ability is.
Shit's going to catch up to you.
You're going to get fooled at some point, and I think the job as a quarterback is to not get fooled so much, right? It's a chess game, right? There's so many pieces that go to it to where when you're watching that film, you know, I remember, you know, even game plan, I mean, I guess this is a lower level, but, you know, Fresno City, we see certain look, okay, here comes the splits. And they were like 97% on that. To where it's like, once you start to understand those things, you almost have the answers to the test, right?
Yeah.
They only blitz to shade, nose, or 3 technique. Like, 50% of the blitzes are coming when they have a 3 technique to the side and this coverage. Like, you pick up on all these little tendencies just from watching a film.
Right.
And I mean, you shouldn't be watching film. Like, you got to watch games. Like, if you're a football guy, you're watching ball. Like, it is what it is.
You have to be.
And not like a fan.
No,
A lot of guys watch it as a
I
fan.
That's the hardest part.
I can't even watch Monday Night Football without being like, okay, what's this route concept? Like, the DB just rolled, blah, blah, blah. And some of these dudes, I mean, Tyler, you one of them, where it's like, you're looking a guy off to try to get him to step one step
just
to get that degree of separation to where you could bang that, you know, dig across the middle or wherever the fuck it is. You said 80-20. I think it's like 95-5. Like, it
could be.
I know some guy, and you know what? We're talking quarterbacks, and I know you guys are high guys. You're giving them, and they got to have some major brains. I know receivers who their high school situations is they were running number system still, route tree style. We're like, that's what I was saying. It's like what we got. Everyone knows the OG
99
route
halfback swing.
and it's like, all right, we get this. So they come and they couldn't handle the playbook. And then a lot of guys too, and I think you guys are the type of men, especially being Kingsburg guys, where you hold yourself to a high standard of like doing the little things right. There was a 4-star who came in with me. I was a walk-on. He was one of the highest recruits ever at Fresno State. I'm not going to name drop him. He lasted 2 weeks. He couldn't show up on time. Just couldn't get it done. And I'm just like, dude, plug your iPhone in before you go to bed. If you got to be there at 6, and it's going to take you 5 minutes to walk from your dorm to the fucking locker room, set 5 alarms. I don't know. Just plug your phone in, turn your volume up, and you'll get there on time. Couldn't piece it together, man. There's so many. It would be awesome to know, and maybe when you go to heaven someday, you'll be able to see those statistics of like how many all-pro guys never played a down of college, maybe high school football, college football, NFL football, because they couldn't piece it together. That's truly a thing. So I think you guys are on the right track. I think it's awesome. Bring the Juice will always support the camp. Bring the Juice's newest partner is Profit X. Check out their app. Use code BTJ when you're playing. It is a peer-to-peer sports exchange that allows players to back their favorite team's money line or spread and earn real money. Set your own odds and get matched by other players. 100% legal in 39 states, including right here in California. Use code BTJ, Profit X. They're greedy, we're greedy. Fade Frankie D or hop on the train of success. I don't know if we're going to be hot or not this week. Bring the juice, get your piss hot. Profit X. I want to transition into some Chiefs stuff, okay? My brother is on the Kansas City Chiefs. You're a former Kansas City Chief. Austin, I want to start with you because you kind of have a little POV that I think I'm going through right now. Where it's like, what was your family's reaction when you're like, hey, my brother, it's obviously it's a big deal to play college ball. But you kind of, I don't want to say you get numb to it, but by the time you're done, you're like, okay, we're used to going to these stadiums and traveling every weekend to watch a sibling play. Like my brothers watched me play before I went and watched them play. When you're like, hey, I have a brother in the league. It's a big fucking deal. You're a big fucking deal. Yeah. Okay. What was the family vibes? Nice. What was the family vibes? Like, were you guys buying merch out of the gate? Were you guys like, okay, we gotta see how training camp goes? Like, what was your perspective having a brother in the NFL?
Well, I think obviously me and my dad both, but my dad, I mean, he probably that night ordered a customized jersey of you, on the Chiefs, last name Bray. it's kind of one of those things where it's something you work for your whole life. Like, my dad never really pushed us to play sports, but he said, if this is what you want to do, like, come to me, ask, and then we'll help you get there.
Right.
But never really made us play football or anything.
No, same.
He's a basketball guy.
My dad's a basketball guy, so he took, us to camps, and being from Kingsburg, tried to get us as much exposure as we could. But playing in the NFL, it's like, a lot of people will be like, oh, want to say like jealousy or anything like that.
No.
To me, like, we competed against each other our whole life, right?
Yeah.
Like, whether that was, okay, I'm up in the morning, we're getting ready for school, who's going to take the first shower, or, we're fighting to. It was just competition, basketball to baseball to football. And for him, I felt like it was God-given talent. And the only reason I got to the level I got was because I had to play against this guy all the time. So for me, it was kind of like, shit, we've put in I don't even know how many hours. I'd like to know that when I go to, how many hours of practice.
Life statistics.
Yeah.
Right? How many shits did I take?
10,000 hours is very low, I feel
How
like.
many hours, right? 100,000 hours of just, dude, there's times me and him fist fight playing one-on-one basketball.
Yeah.
Over and over.
It's dark out. The only thing above our basketball hoop is like the street lamp.
Yeah.
And his mother's-
I miss those days,
Mom's
by
like,
the
it's
way.
9 o'clock.
Dude,
Dude, get your ass in
I
the house.
miss
like,
those
get
days.
inside.
Bullshit. You beat me 3 times. I beat you 3 times. Let's
Yeah, we gotta go one
It's
more.
game
Yeah,
7,
you have
right?
to.
And that was the thing of like when he made it. It was like, man, like, my dad is saying practice on Sundays, play on Sundays, and it was one of those things where it was like, okay, it happened.
Yeah,
right, like the proof's in the pudding, right? Like you practice on the Sundays that we always did, and like it works.
Yeah.
So it was ultimate like pride and like, yeah, man.
You're happy for him.
For sure.
Yeah,
Dude.
no,
Yeah,
we're
like,
ecstatic. It's a
all
big deal.
love, right? And that's
Still want to
where-
fight each other.
Oh yeah. I mean, we fought like, I guess, different than normal, but like punching the arm stuff. Like we would go at it,
Yeah.
and I think that was all competition. It was never personal.
Always.
And so him making it was huge, and being on the Chiefs and the Bears and the Niners for a little bit, like just watching the whole journey was cool.
Yeah. I definitely ordered a few Chiefs items within like an hour. Like within the phone call, it was like, let's go. And I'll let Mac tell his story, but he had a few options on the table and he got to pick, and it was like, there was 150 people here.
Miami and Jacksonville?
Yeah, no.
Ah.
He had a couple options on the table, and this was all happening before the draft was even over. And long story short, it was like we had a family meeting with 150 people here. We came into this, literally right here in this room, and it was like his agent was like, the money's the same, the circumstances are very similar. Where you have a success as an undrafted free agent guy, like, where do you want to go? Like, this is. What city do you want to live in? Blah, blah, blah. And I mean, I just told him, I said, do you want to catch passes from fucking Patrick Mahomes, or do you want to catch passes from not... The other options weren't that great. I'm just going to put that out there.
Now we got to think.
Yeah.
So it's not a great quarterback.
It's Seattle.
It's probably the worst quarterback room in the league right now.
Like situationally.
Browns?
Yeah.
So anyways...
That's what I was gonna. That was the first thing that popped in my head.
So anyways...
is Flacco? Is he their best?
Well, Flacco also, his agent...
Flacco's elite, dude. Chill.
Yeah, no, Flacco's
No, I
legit.
said he's. But he's.
Also, what happened to Deshaun? Is he just not on the team anymore? Whatever, we'll get into that.
That's an off-camera conversation. Yeah, that's...
I'm just kidding.
So my brother signs with Kansas City. Like I said, we order stuff. He's been there. He's killing it at minicamp, doing his thing in OTAs and whatnot. It's just like, it's fun. Talk to me as a guy who needs to learn about Kansas City, and we got a Chiefs following now. Like,
You're going to love Kansas City.
why am I gonna love Kansas City?
Oh, it's got a little like valley to it, like your blue collar, like we're there for our team type of like vibe. Like every week it's a packed house. Doesn't matter what day you're playing, they are gonna show up and they are gonna be loud. I mean, it's the loudest stadium in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like they're diehard fans.
Arrowhead's sick.
Oh, it's a great environment.
I'm excited.
They tailgate well. I mean,
I enjoy tailgates.
There was one of the years I was like NFI or something like that because I tore my ACL in the off season. And so I was able to like hang out with my friends and family before the game, but like before we went in. So like I got to see like the tailgating firsthand.
Yeah.
Like obviously I've seen it now that I've gone back, but I got to see it while I was playing and I'm like, these fans are nuts. I came from Tennessee where it was like the same thing. Like people don't go on vacations, they go to Tennessee ball games. And then I went to Kansas City, and it was like the same environment. I was like, I just love it here. The way the organization treats you, it's a big family.
Yep.
Like it's not a penny pitching family. Like I could go to the equipment guy and be like, hey, Alan, I got a couple guys coming in this week, buddies of mine. Can I get some gear for them?
Right.
Oh, sure. What do you want? Where I'd go other places and they'd be like, we're gonna have to take that out of your paycheck. And I'm like,
Really, for a fucking t-shirt?
we're $1 billion organization, and you're charging me full price for a shirt.
Yeah,
or a
70,
hoodie.
95. Should have went to Fanatics.
I'm like, what are we doing here? But you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowls. I'm not gonna name drop, but there's only 2 other choices.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the last one. You see why they can't win a division? Like they don't want to spend the money on the players.
Right.
Like you got to treat like San Francisco was my last stop, and the way like their performance off the field for the players, they have the red light rooms, they have eye training, they have brain training. Like the science that went into making their players better is the reason they're in it every year.
Yeah.
Kansas City Chiefs invest a lot of money in their players. That's why they're in it every year. The teams that invest the money in their players are getting the most out of them.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, but for some reason to a lot of these teams it doesn't. Yeah, I don't get it.
I saw that Travis Kelce is supporting the camp, donated some balls. What's your relationship with Travis? Like, is he as advertised?
Yeah. See, I know it. I was almost roommates with him, so I know just the normal Travis, not the what has to be on TV or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So I've known him for a while now. Great dude, down to earth guy. Kind of sad that our camp's the same weekend as the Tahoe tournament. We got to go and hang out with him last year, and so that was a great time. Hung out with him all weekend, but he's just a down to earth dude.
Yeah.
Like, I know you see all the flashy stuff.
Oh,
but
well, I mean, he's dating
that's-
Taylor Swift. He's got one of the biggest podcasts.
Yeah,
No, you can tell he's one of the boys.
yeah.
And my brother has said out of the gate, he's like, bro, Travis is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
He's one of the dudes. Like, it's not like there's no superstar mantra necessarily with him. Even though, again, he's dating Taylor Swift and there's a lot of distractions. He's got a pod. Him and his brother are top 5 in the country at least, like as far as notability and whatnot. What about Patrick Mahomes? Like, I know he came in. You guys crossed paths at the end, right?
Yeah, his rookie year was my last year with the Chiefs.
Did you forecast the success Patrick had coming in as a rookie? Like, did you think this was going to happen?
Obviously, no, you couldn't see
Right.
what he's done. But you knew like the first pass he threw. I mean, he like rolled out. It wasn't the first pass I saw him throw. But he like rolled out to the right and like hucked one backfield, and I'm like, oh shit, what are you doing? And it was just money, and you're like, how strong is this? Like, how far did he just throw that? Like, we're gonna have to check that on film later. But like, you saw his arm talent, just natural ability to spit the ball out of different arm angles. Like, you saw that very early, so you knew like he had all the tools to be like that guy. But like, how was it gonna pan out? Because there's
a lot of guys that
you're in
are
the
that
league.
guy.
Like you're if you're on a team, and let's say like I was a third string, you're 3 of what 96 quarterbacks in the league.
NFL, yeah.
I think that's what the math is. I'm not good with math, but yeah, you're 3 of 96, or you're 1 of 96. Like there's not a lot of guys that can say that. So everybody can make every throw, but it's the little things. It's the getting out of bad plays, and checking to this, or hey, not forcing a ball downfield when you don't need to, and just dunking it down. Now he takes one to the house. Like little things like that are what makes Mahomes great. Like when shit breaks down, he's able to get out of it. He's able to make a bad play better. Because the quarterbacks, you don't want to make a bad play worse. Bad snap, guy runs the wrong route, all of a sudden you roll out and start panicking and then throw a pick. Like, don't make a bad play worse.
Right.
And he does a great job with that.
Compounding mistakes, right? Like, don't compound mistakes, like line breaks down or whatever, you get fooled on the read. Like, don't freak out and then just make a throw, right? It's one of those things like what you're saying, like compounding mistakes or like...
A throwaway could be the best play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people think that, like with Mahomes, I always get asked, like, how does he not get tackled, right? Like, he's not really... I mean, he's fast, right? But he's not really that fast. And
He's not Lamar. He's not Lamar.
He has like an aura around him where he just does a little whoop, whoop, and then he fall, and he just makes a play.
It's just natural. He's not a physical specimen by any means.
No.
Like, combine, like, you're in your tights, standing up, like, you look at him and you're like...
Okay. That guy's Texas Tech quarterback. Yeah.
That guy could play at a junior college. Like,
Right.
not knowing him, but, like, you just look at his body and you're like, okay. And then he gets out there and starts making plays and you're like, oh, shit.
This guy can sling this bitch.
Like, this guy's legit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what it was. Like he came in and it's like, okay, yeah, another quarterback. Like I knew they were hyped about him. They had been talking about him for like 2 years.
Oh.
So we knew like they loved him coming in, and then like seeing him live. It's like one of those deals like the camera can fool you.
Yeah.
Like you saw him throw live, and you're like, okay, yeah, like I'm gone next year. Yeah.
Oh,
like, they're definitely
shit.
going to. Well, 'cause it was Alex Smith who was a starter. Him and Mahomes are completely different quarterbacks. Like Alex.
Yeah.
Alex isn't your like game manager. Like I don't want to put him in the game manager world, but he's not the Mahomes where he's gonna throw it 60 yards multiple times in a game.
Right.
Like that might happen once. Like but Alex is gonna win you a shit ton of ball games. He's gonna get you to the playoffs every year. Like he's stable quarterback.
Yeah.
Where Mahomes, like he could go out and throw for 500 yards, 8 touchdowns, and the next week throw for 300 yards and 1 touchdown.
Right.
They're still gonna win the game,
Yeah.
but it's
Finds
not
a
gonna
way.
be as exciting as last week's was.
I didn't have this on my list, but like Alex Smith, like being a guy who was in the quarterback room with him at one point and seeing the injury he went through, like what was that from a guy who knows him on a daily basis and seeing how just I don't want to say disgusting, but
Oh, it was. It was
disgusting.
absolutely
And his legs, like, you see his legs sometimes every once in a while. And it's like it's fucked up. Like that's not like oh man, yeah, broke my fibula. Like his leg looks like it went through Vietnam.
Yeah,
like,
just to get bit
like
by a
almost
shark or
died.
something,
Like almost died because of it.
When you saw it happen and you saw the aftermath and like I know they were kind of keeping it, social media was keeping things like circulating, like what was your initial reaction? How was that as a quarterback, a fellow Conrad?
Oh, it's tough. I mean, it was emotional for sure because that was a guy that kind of taught me how to be a pro.
Yeah.
Like I came in, I was kind of a slapdick to be honest. Like
Really?
didn't know like the mental aspect.
Well, you're not drinking your Class A Azul, so I don't know, but
I gotta pee.
it's all right. Wait till
But I didn't come in knowing all the coverages. I wasn't a mental quarterback. I was a guy that I had a strong arm and I relied on it. I knew what was going on, but like I couldn't go up on a whiteboard and draw.
Sure.
So I came in and Alex was kind of like, hey, like this is how it needs to be. Like you need to show up on like you're gonna show up when I show up type of deal, and you'll leave when I leave. Okay. I
Wow.
remember
As a
the-
rookie, he took you in and told you that.
Yeah, I mean he didn't tell me that, but it was kind of like one of those like follow me like
Right.
type of deals.
This is the standard.
Yes.
Let's go.
Like I remember we had an off day, and I was at home sleeping. Off day, I get a call from my coach. Where the fuck are you? And I'm like, it's off day, coach. I'm at home. He goes, there is no fucking off days in the NFL. He goes, I have Alex Smith and Chase Downing in my office right now. We're watching film. Why aren't you here? And I'm like, I didn't know. It was one of those deals. That was the last time that ever happened. I was at the facility now every day. Like I'm not leaving. I need to learn everything I can, and it took 2-3 years to catch up.
Wow.
And then by the end of it, I was sitting there, and when I went to Chicago, Nagy came over from Kansas City, so we're still running that same offense.
Oh.
And I'm helping coaches out with the offense because I've been through it for 5 years.
Right.
I know how Andy Reid taught this offense. I know how Matt Nagy wanted to teach this offense. So I would sit in the meetings and be like, no, he's going to want it like this. And they'd be like, well, that's not how we just went over it. And I said, call him into the room. Like, this is how he's going to want it. And they'd call him into the room. Yeah, that's how I want it. Okay. I'm like, guys, I'm not trying to argue with you, but I've been through so many installs of these same plays. Like, I know how it's taught. I can verbatim spit it out. Like, your brother, the first day, he's getting, trips right, 323 scat, double stick dragon. Double stick this side, go, slant, flat by the running back.
I'm just kidding. Okay.
Do you want me to give him the whole...
Yeah, Buffalo.
You want the whole 2 minute? Yellow, yellow. Yeah, it's all the same stuff, but teams still can't stop it.
Well, yeah.
Andy Reid used to joke all the time, like, they can have our playbook, they still got to stop it. Because they run so many different things out of the same personnels and formations that you're like, oh, they're lined up in doubles, they normally do this, and all of a sudden they're doing that, and you're like, okay, they have more than just one play. Like high school, you might have one formation, one play. Like
dude.
NFL, it's like...
Madera's running cover 3 today, boys.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, let's fucking rip them up the seat. Go for 200.
4 verts all day.
Yeah.
But it's the mental, it's insane.
What was your welcome to the league moment?
I don't know if I had like a welcome to the league. I guess you would say that the meeting or the off day I missed was kind of I didn't have like I mean, Frank Clark slamming on my head, but that wasn't a welcome to the league.
That was like, I got fucked up today.
Yeah, like I guess.
Are you talking about the late hit?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I like fractured my neck or I don't know. I was a little concussed. Played the next play.
Is that the hardest you ever been hit?
No.
What's the
college was
hardest you've ever been hit?
A Bostic linebacker from Florida. I tried to chuck and duck one. Tight end, I believe, was running across. Tried to chuck and duck like this around him, and he caught me right under my chin, or caught me on my chin strap with his helmet. And one of those, and I got up and walked towards Florida's sideline, thinking I was going to ours. Tackle grabs me. He's like, "Hey, Bray," and I'm like, "What?" He's like, "You're going to the wrong sideline." I'm like, "Give me back to the huddle." He's like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "No, but just give me back." They're like trying to call the next play, and they're like, "Bray, you were bleeding out of your mouth," and I'm like, "We're gonna be fine." Yeah, I don't remember the rest of that game.
God damn, man.
We lost. Obviously, we were losing a lot back then, but yeah, don't remember the rest of that game. Well, the next morning it was like, "What happened?" type of deal.
Fuck, man. How many beers did I have?
Yeah, it's one of those moments, like a hangover moment, but it definitely wasn't a hangover.
What about a guy like Tyreek? Like he's in the room. He's kind of a gadget dude. He's clearly evolved over time.
Now I don't know where his head's at now, but when he came to Kansas City, it was kind of rough. The fans, because he had some off the field stuff, but so the fans were like against him and all this stuff, and then you saw him run his first route, and it was like a Mahomes moment. Like you had heard kind of like this hype around this guy, but you didn't know, and then you saw him live for the first time, and you're like, oh shit, like this guy's the real deal. Like he would do their conditioning drill, which is 16 half gassers, and what you don't know, it's the width of the field.
Mac told me yesterday.
They do it yesterday?
Yeah.
How'd he do?
Fresno State conditions pretty hard, so he wasn't like
The young guys. You get like the old vets.
no. My couple buddies in the league are like, bro, fuck this shit. Like they're fat. They're dads.
We had a guy that did yoga the whole off season and thought he was gonna be fine and made it through like 4 or 5 and was like done.
You get fined if you don't finish.
Ooh, I always finish it. It's conditioning. Like you, as a quarterback, if you miss conditioning, like you should be cut.
You always finish.
Always. They might not, but I do.
What about a guy like Andy Reid? I feel like he's in contention quietly to like approach Belichick status.
Similar though. They have a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Okay.
Is it the system? Is it the quarterback?
Okay, so what's your take?
I can't speak on Belichick. Belichick, I feel, is like a defensive mind.
Can I chime in on that?
Yes, you have a microphone,
Andy Reid,
Austin.
I mean, Andy Reid has won with more than just Mahomes.
No,
Yeah.
I was more arguing.
we're Belichick.
You were more arguing
I was
Belichick has only
arguing
one with Brady.
Belichick.
So
I
you
was saying
think
Andy
Andy
Reid.
Reid's above?
Oh hell yeah!
Okay.
That's a hot take.
But they're
I didn't know
different.
that's where he was going with that,
But they're
'cause I
different.
would-
They're different sides of the ball.
Wait, time out. So you think Andy Reid is above Belichick on the coaching pedestal of who's had more success? Because of the circumstances.
More success? No, obviously not. Belichick has more Super Bowls.
Better coach then?
I can't speak for Belichick. I've never had him, but I'm saying and they're different sides of the ball. So Andy Reid's offense, Belichick's defense. So it's kind of like Belichick really wasn't. Was he really helping out with Brady?
Or was he just the coach
Or
and Brady was there?
Andy Reid is the offense. Like he's ran the same offense for years.
Yeah.
Plugs Mahomes in, they finally get the Super Bowl. So yes, it's one of those things where the system's great, the quarterback was great. Because he had a great system with Alex Smith, but we would get to the playoffs and have to face Brady. And obviously, we weren't winning those Super Bowls. So it's just one of those deals where it's tough to compare, but Andy Reid is an absolute brilliant mind when it comes to offense. It's a Rain Man style, like just knowledge of the game is unreal.
Yeah, I can see it. What was your take on when you saw the Chiefs run the play where they all danced around in a circle and then they went into formation and snapped the ball?
That was probably a Wednesday to Thursday practice.
Just like, fuck it, let's do it.
They do that every week.
They fuck around.
It's not
Not fuck
it's
around.
not fuck around.
It's just strategic.
Well, you gotta realize they have scouts that watch college and they have all this different film and they see, oh, look at this play that. So like they call it Gravedigger, Undertaker. It's all like the Reed pitch it to Kelce. That's all University of Pitt. That was all Nathan Peterman. I think it was Matt Canada at the time. Like that was all kind of their stuff. Well, they were watching Nathan Peterman for draft purposes or whoever it may be from Pitt. They see this play. Oh shit, let's put it in. That looks sweet. Let's try it out. Well, you're not going to like install this play that you just want to mess around. So they go on the field Thursday practice while special teams is going on or whatever. Like Kelce, Tyreek, Mahomes, Alex, whoever it may have been, we're off to the side on another field and they're walking through these plays. Like, hey, what do you guys think of this? Or we're going through red zone. Like, hey, if you get like this, look, like let's do that.
Right.
Like the amount of like special teams work they were getting on offense was unreal. Like we would walk through everything, would try new things, talk through things. So Kelce would be like, hey, like if I get this coverage, like this is what I'm feeling.
Oh.
That's why like the breakdown plays and Mahomes finds Kelce, like, yeah, they're off script, but like they've talked through that.
Yeah.
They've talked through like, hey, this happens, like this is what I'm thinking. If this happens, this is what I'm thinking. And so
Well,
like,
and
if you have a guy like that, it's so easy as a quarterback. Like you know where your bailout is before you even snap the ball.
Right. Well, and I think as a from a wide receiver perspective, like anytime you see guys have successful seasons, it is not a coincidence that the quarterback and the wide receiver are on an insanely high difference. I was a Julian Edelman guy, so like seeing him work with Brady, and you look at some of his routes where like, I bet you a tenth, an eighth of his yards are scramble drill. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, hey, he had a 10-yard dig, shit broke down, Brady's chopping because they have a good O-line, like, I'm going to come down and go under, and we're going to catch that shit 10 yards on the hash. Like, automatic, right? So, and also, for the young kids out there, and you guys got a quarterback training, if I'm a Valley wide receiver right now, I'm going out and fucking catching for all these quarterbacks. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to get reps in. I'm trying to learn tendencies. What do you like? What do you need? Blah, blah, blah. Because chemistry is a real thing. Like in high school, bro, I had fucking 5 quarterbacks in high school, and then you get one for your whole junior season. And it's like, hey, man, you know I like to run my post skinny. Like, the landmark is on the goalpost, but you can't get it. So fucking just sling that bitch and I'll get there. I'm going to beat the Sunnyside DB. So just sling that motherfucker out there, right? And eventually your coach who's OC, and no disrespect to high school coaches, but like some of these guys, you're like, hey, man.
Yep.
What are we doing here, right? What are we doing?
No, a lot of them were volunteers too.
No, and I respect it. Listen, man, everyone had their own experiences. To wrap this up, high school football is one of the most fun things you can do in this world.
Oh, I miss it all the time.
And I think the Valley is a slice of Friday Night Lights, man. It's a big deal here. It's a fucking big deal. Like, and I don't know what my high school coaches are doing really anymore, but anytime I ever see them, always show them love because they help to get to a certain point, and they're still coaching high school football, but they coach my brothers. They're like we always want to take care of them best we can, and I think there's a place for everything. But football's fun.
I coached against your brother.
Yeah, when
I was at Kingsburg.
How'd that go?
We went into Memorial and beat them. So they had
trying to think.
McMillan.
Yeah, they had Jalen, Josh, McMillan.
2000.
Oh, I remember.
Or 2021.
Should remember Kingsburg beating Memorial.
When was your brother a senior there? He scored twice on us, and we knocked McMillan out of the game like third play.
Sounds about right.
Your coach had a tendency of wanting to get McMillan like a slant early on in the game, something like a touch. So they 3-by-1'd him, soloed up. We tucked the linebacker in.
Was this first game of the year?
Here it is.
Yeah, I remember this.
And
I had walked through.
Over.
I think I was in fall camp still, and I remember them losing, but Mac having a good game.
He had 2 touchdowns, yeah. And but McMillan, that was probably why we ended up winning.
Sure.
Was third play of the game.
Yeah.
He's crawling off the field.
Can I ask you? And I don't think Jalen was only in for a play, but seeing Memorial at that time, would you think that they had 3 NFL receivers in as their X, Y, and Z? Or was that a shocker now,
No.
7 years later?
Oh, it's a shocker because, I mean, we're Kingsburg. I don't think we had a single guy go D2,
Yeah.
D1, anything. We're playing with a bunch of country kids. And
Was Voorhees on the team?
No. This is, like I said, it might have been 2018.
No, it was his senior year was 2019 because
2019.
Because I didn't play with him. I graduated in Fresno State in 2019 and Mac played 2020, so we never played together.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I knew, so he had like an 80-yard touchdown and then another one, but it was a low-scoring game. I mean, it was like 21-14 or something like that, or 20-14 or something like that.
He had both of them.
He had both of them. And we knocked McMillan out of the game, and then we're sitting there and we're holding you guys on offense, and we're like, something's got to give at some point, and it never did.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I just thought it was funny because then you got us thinking like, oh, these guys are kind of like
Not that good.
Delane is good, but McMillan, at the time, and then all of a sudden, college, you're like, oh, well,
They were all
lucky.
They were all okay.
We got lucky. He got hurt, or else it probably would have been 50 to
Nah, it is what it is, man. Well,
The Clovis East Kingsburg game.
Oh God.
I appreciate you guys coming on today, guys. The Bray Quarterback Institute. Go to their camp. If you haven't signed up yet, get there. It's free. It's free. Buy some Ring the Juice merch. Follow them. Follow us. Subscribe. Unsubscribe. Resubscribe. Get your piss hot. And we'll see you next time.